Hello, this is MrChabry, and since it's Valentine's Day, that means love is in the air. Let's see if we can beat a Pokemon game with the Pokemon that is supposed to represent the emotion of love. This is Pokemon Emerald, Luvdisc only challenge. So just in case you forgot the rules for this, I'm only allowed to use Luvdisc for battles. Also, another thing is I cannot heal Luvdisc during battles. I can heal Luvdisc after battles or outside of battles, but during the actual battles, I can't heal Luvdisc. Another thing is the timer is to see how long it takes me in real-world time to beat this game. I can use the speed up button, but I'm not allowed to use the speed up button for gyms, Elite Four, rival battles, or the evil team leader battles. The speed up button is there just to get through some of the more grindy bits of the game. First thing I do is switch Mudkip for Luvdisc. That way Brendan will have the Trico, making this challenge a little bit more difficult. Since we don't have access to the less than symbol when naming our Pokemon, I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm going to name Luvdisc K3. That way the arm and the leg of the K will create a greater than symbol, giving us a Luvdisc with the name that looks like the emoji of a heart. After performing some necessary tasks, we are finally able to have our first battle with our rival. So after trading a few tackles and charms, I am able to overcome the Trico and the first rival battle. It does take a little bit longer than what I thought though, and I do get really close to fainting on this first battle. We then help Wally catch his first Pokemon. Wally's going to be sort of a secondary rival to the first rival in this game, so his battles will also get the same treatment. We finally make it to Roxanne, our first gym battle. Luckily at this point we have Water Gun, so that makes the Geodudes pretty easy to handle. However, Nosepass gives us more problems than what I was hoping it would. This thing is not 4 times weak to water like Geodude is, and it also has a potion that's given to it mid-battle. This thing brings us down to 5 hit points, but we're able to defeat it. So on my way back, I learned that there's kind of an issue with my Luvdisc only battle idea, and that's because there's quite a few double battles littered throughout Hoenn. With this, however, I'm just going to make sure my HM friend doesn't help out during the battle, that all of the battling is actually done by Luvdisc itself. That's our only way around these types of battles when they appear. After sailing across the sea and doing some more side missions, we're ready to take on the second gym. Now, you're not going to be surprised to know that the second gym gave me a lot more trouble than the first gym. I'm not super effective against Brawly's Pokemon, so I don't have the type effective matchup like I did in Roxanne's. But you can see here Machop puts a lot of damage on us before we even get to the Meditite. Luckily Meditite continues to use Focus Punch and is unable to attack us, so Brawly's pretty much just wasting his time here. But you can see I've got 3 HP, and most of that was from that Machop. But now the Makuhita comes out and just one-shots me. So after doing some training, I return. Here we are at better health against the Makuhita, and I decide I'm going to go ahead and put some charms on this thing as he continues to go for bulk up. The Citrus Berry activates, and luckily we're able to win this time, but it was still incredibly close. After that, we can go ahead and go to Slateport, where we face down with Team Aqua once again, and after that we have our next rival battle. And this rival battle is the one that most people meme about, the one where a lot of times you're not expecting to see your rival on this route, but your rival is standing there waiting for you. So let's see how well Luvdisc does at this junction of the game. So there's a reason why this battle is known as a difficult battle, and that's because Brandon at this point has a formidable team with really nice type matchups. So of course Slugma is going to be the first Pokemon we face, and we take that thing down pretty easily. Next up is the Grovyle, and of course there's not much I can do against Grovyle, and we're going to watch it whittle us away with Absorb, finishing us off. So it's around this point in the game that I made a discovery my timer doesn't allow you to continue if you end up taking a break from the game. So I've actually taken a break, came back to train up, and it turns out the timer resets back to 0. So I went ahead and put the plus symbol so that way we still can keep an accurate reading on how much time has elapsed in this playthrough. I decided to go ahead and take on Brendan again, and here we are at the Grovyle. I've got a few more levels since I've went and trained, but you can see we still barely are able to get a victory. The next rival battle is actually a rival battle against Wally, and Wally doesn't stand a chance at this point. Wally is a pushover, one-shot it with a water gun. That's it. The next gym battle is Watson, and let me tell you, this is one of those gym battles that I'm actually pretty nervous about, because he's got electric types, and they're actually good against mine. The Voltorb's not too much of an issue, it can do quite a bit of damage. The Electrite tries to go for Howl, and we're able to take it down. However, the Magneton comes out, and actually starts giving us some problems, because it paralyzes us, and we end up not being able to take out the Magneton. I'm not going to lie, Watson gave me a lot of trouble when it comes to these gym battles. You can see here that even with adding levels, I'm still struggling. I'm quite nearly twice as many levels as Watson, and the Magneton is just still able to take me down each time. But after many attempts and getting nearly to level 50, I come back to face the Magneton, and I'm able to take it out. This is the first time I'm facing Manectric, so I'm actually kind of nervous, but a nicely placed flail finishes it off as we get down into the red health. After traversing the north of Hoenn, I loop back around to the volcano, and this is where I fight Maxie for the first time. I'm at level 51, and let me just tell you, after facing Watson a number of times, being able to come here and take down Maxie so easily feels so great. And the same can be said about Flannery, Flannery being the Fire-type gym leader of Hoenn. Most of her Pokemon are 4 times weak to Water-type moves, so those go down pretty easily. Of course, the Slugman goes down easily, and the only one that can take a hit is the Torkoal. The Torkoal smooches and gives a little kissy face to Luvdisc, but Luvdisc sees right through it and takes it down. So the next gym involves us dealing with a common trope when it comes to narrative, films, stories, and that's where we face our own father, Norman. So Norman's one of those gym leaders that you can actually talk to early on in the game, but of course he says you're not ready. And honestly, I don't feel ready right now because his team is a scary team. The Spinda can take a few hits and hit back. The Vigoroth is going to come out. It can take a water gun, hits us with a facade. Knowing that, I can't really trust putting any sort of condition on this thing because it's going to do a lot more damage. Linoon almost takes us out, and then here it is, the king himself. Now Slacking is one of those Pokemon that is just massive with its attack stat, and each time I come to face Norman, I don't always make it to Slacking. That just gives you an idea of how much I'm struggling here. But when I do make it to Slacking, I'm often low on health, and there's no way I'm able to take on one attack from this thing. The closest thing I could think of is maybe getting lucky with my paralysis, but even then, relying on that, this thing just can hit so hard. After making it to level 61, I get lucky in how I'm able to make it to this point with most of my health. I'm still afraid of this thing. However, Truant is actually helping us out because this thing has that ability that kind of nerfs itself, and we're able to finish it off. After getting the HM for Surf and getting a Mystic Water to give to our Pokemon, we have unlocked a new potential when it comes to Luvdisc. Just in time too, because now we are facing our rival once again, and this time we have a powered up Surf. So I'm going to go ahead and use Secret Power on the Grovyle, and that almost takes it out completely. I try the same thing to Pelipper, and it can take the hits a little bit better, but of course it's not going to be able to take us out. Luvdisc actually showing some strength here. The next gym challenge for us is Winona. She uses Flying-type Pokemon. Swablu is easy, but Tropius gives me a little bit of fear. However, that fear is unfounded because we're able to two-hit it. Pelipper comes out, and it's a little bit more bulky, so I go ahead and continue trying to take down, use Secret Power, trying to get where I can take it out. However, Hyper Potion is going to bring its health back up, and unfortunately, I am confused, so I keep hitting myself. We're doing a lot of damage to ourselves with Takedown, hitting ourselves, but we are finally able to take Pelipper out, and now here comes a Skarmory. Skarmory has high defense, but its special defense is kind of its weakness, so we take it out easily. Now is the Altaria, and like I said, this thing is scary. It's going to just go for constant dragon dances, and I'm unable to bring its health down that much. Earthquake actually surprised me that it didn't do as much as I thought it would. However, it's still going to be able to take us out. After getting to level 67, we get extremely lucky here, and we're able to finish off the Altaria. It's here where we meet Beauty Jessica, and I just want to say, Happy Valentine's, Jessie. I love your emerald eyes. After that, we make our way to the top of Mount Pyre, and we witness Team Aqua take off with the orb. We then make our way to Lily Cove, where we face our rival, and I do believe this is the final time we get to face this rival. So we'll see how his Pokemon are doing. Tropius actually isn't much of a problem for us, and the Grovyle honestly goes down to 2 Surfs. Slugma stands no chance, and the Pelipper is probably going to be able to take hits a little bit better. However, we're still able to take it down pretty easily. So now we make our way to Team Magma's hideout, and this is where we see Maxie activate Groudon. Groudon escapes, and then Maxie actually decides to battle us. So, like I said earlier, Maxie doesn't really stand a chance to us. We're able to one-shot pretty much all of his Pokemon with Surf. Surf with Mystic Water is amazing for us. And of course, now that there is a legendary who can cause worldwide destruction roaming around, you know what time it is. It's time for us to ignore that and go and take on the next gym. So the thing about Tate and Liza's gym is that you have to have enough Pokemon for a double battle. So I'm going to put my HM friend up front, the Tentacool, who is pretty weak, and I'm just going to pick the weakest move that it's got. I don't want it to actually do much for this battle, but Tropius has to come out, so I'm just going to use Rock Smash because it's a pretty weak move. Surf ends up doing a lot of damage on their lead Pokemon, but now Lunatone and Solrock comes out. Both of these Pokemon are weak to Surf, so they're not really taking it very well. Of course, they both have Citrus Berries, but that's not really going to matter. Not that much. Lunatone, of course, can take a hit, but we are here ready to Surf, taking things out. Luckily for us, the next double battle that's required allows us to choose which Pokemon we bring, because we're battling alongside Steven Stone. Mightyena and Camerupt, both of them go down to one singular Surf. Crobat and Mightyena comes out, and of course, we already know Mightyena isn't really taking these that well, but Crobat surprisingly can take that decently. I do have Blizzard at this point, and I actually got that from the Lily Cove store, and I'm hoping that Blizzard can actually give us a lot of potential for taking some of these out. But Tang gets to get the final hit on the Crobat, unfortunately. But here we are, finally able to break through, finishing off the battle with a nice, well-placed Surf. And speaking of evil team bosses, let's fight the opposite end, Team Aqua's leader. Like we said, Mightyena doesn't do much. Blizzard just cuts right through Crobat. And then the final Pokemon, the Sharpedo. I am kind of nervous about Sharpedo because it will be able to take hits a little bit better. But we're able to get some secret powers in, doing quite a bit of damage. And we don't even hardly get to half health. So we're still doing decently well for ourselves. So here we are. After Team Magma has activated Groudon, Team Aqua has awoken Kyogre. We see them fighting in the center of a crater. They are battling it out, and here we are. It's up to us to save the world, and we're just chilling out here. Now it's up to us to save the world by activating Rayquaza, flying back to Sootopolis, watching this battle, watching this cutscene, watching Rayquaza fly down and say, "Hey guys, let's cut it out. We're going to cause a lot of destruction here." So here we are, ready to take on the final gym leader. And of course, this is a water-type gym leader. So I am kind of nervous because I know my moves aren't going to be doing as much damage. I'm going to go ahead and go for Safeguard because I know what Luvdisc does. It does a lot of status shenanigans. And I call that perfectly because Sweet Kiss isn't able to do anything. However, this Luvdisc makes a kissy face, winks at us, and our Luvdisc falls in love. So that's kind of unfortunate. I'm going to just go ahead and hit this thing with another secret power, trying to take it out. And we're able to break through the attraction there. So now Wish Cash comes out, gets critted, not much of a threat. Next up is Celio. Celio is a Pokemon that actually gives me a lot of problems here. This thing is bulky, it resists everything I've got. Even secret power isn't doing much to it. So next up is the Crawdaunt. I'm not that worried about Crawdaunt. 2 hits, take it out. And the last Pokemon is the one that I am actually most afraid of, the Kingdra. This thing has double team, so it's going to make it harder to hit. I'm going to secret power it, hoping to get some para hacks on it. Continues double teaming. It has Ice Beam. I'm worried about the freeze. Luckily, I do have Safeguard. And we're going to see the last thing that this thing has, which is Rest. So I'm going to have to hope and get really lucky with this to finish off this Kingdra. And luck isn't really on our side because double team exists. So you're going to see me just struggling to bring this thing down. And each time I get it in range, it just takes a little nap. Not able to take it out. We're going to keep seeing it do the same thing until it's able to just finish us off. So I come back for a second attempt, and this time I am fresh with the knowledge that Kingdra is willing to set up some double teams. So I'm just going to go purely offensive against that thing. Like I said, Celio gives us a lot of problems here. So we're going to see Secret Power not really doing as much. Looks like a 3-hit KO. I see if Surf does more, and it seems to be doing a little bit more. Crawdaunt goes down easily, and here comes the Kingdra. I want to get some hacks on it, some para hacks, so I will have some luck when it comes to these double teams. I'm going to see if Surf does decent damage, and I switch to Blizzard. Blizzard is enough. We're able to take out this annoying dragon. And now a quick hop over to Victory Road. We are ready to take on the Elite Four after we make it through this cave system. During our trek through Victory Road, we are challenged by Wally for the last time. This time he has a formidable team. He leads off with an Altaria, which we take out pretty easily with a Blizzard. Next up is Magneton, and remember, this thing gave us so much trouble in the mid-game. Now, we just smack it down. Rosalia, not a problem. Delcatty, not a problem as well. And then Gardevoir, which goes down to a crit. So after all this time, we finally make it to the Elite Four. You can see here about over 6 hours for us to get to this point. Sand Attack lowers our accuracy, but we're still able to hit the Surf. Even with our lowered accuracy, we are eventually able to hit the Blizzard on the Cacturne. Luckily, it doesn't hit us with a Grass move. We do the same to Shiftry, which takes it down one shot. Crawdaunt, we missed the Surf, but we can see that it's going to be a 2-hit KO, so I just continuously click the Surf, and then it's Absol, who looks like it would go down almost with 1 hit, but it survived in the red HP. But we're able to take it out, and then here you can see me trying to deliberately decide what move to bring going forward. I am having some problems with the fact that my power points are limited, and I'm overly reliant on Surf at this point, so I decided I want to go ahead and give it Water Pulse. I think that might help me out. Secret Power Water Pulse, confuse it, paralyze it. And you can see I'm really deliberate with my decision here of getting rid of Safeguard, because Safeguard could come in handy, but I don't like the idea of waiting for an attack to hit me. So here we are, ready to take on Phoebe. She has a lot of bulky ghost-type Pokemon, Dusclops being something that could just take so many hits. This is the main thing that I really wanted Water Pulse for, because that gives me an option when I'm facing these bulky ghosts, so I don't have to use all of my Surf. Banette's not much of a problem, so I take both of those out. Sableye, it's obviously a 2-hit KO. The only thing is that she keeps using Full Restore, which is taking away my power points. Last up is the Dusclops, and it looks to be a 2-hit KO without the berry, but unfortunately we do go down to it. However, I train up a little bit more, come back at level 85, and at this point, I'm hoping that I can get through this Dusclops. You can see here it lowering my special defense with that, and it's going to eat that berry, just bringing it out of range. You see my power points have desperately suffered from all of these battles. But we do get lucky and survive with 5 HP, and we're able to finish off the Dusclops finally. Here we are, finally able to make it to Glacia, and let me tell you, Glacia is a Elite Four member that I'm highly nervous about because she uses very bulky Water-type Pokemon. So we're here trying our best to get through it. I go for Secret Power, hoping to be able to get some Para-Hacks luck. However, Body Slam paralyzes me. And you can see I'm barely even able to even cut through the first Celio. I'm defeated by it. So I actually start battling my way to her over and over again until I get to level 100. Here we are, maxed out with our level. If we're able to beat the Elite Four with Luvdisc, we'd have to be able to do it now. So here we are, refreshed, ready to try it again, and of course I'm at level 100. While I was training, I was having trouble with different Pokemon on her team, so we're going to get to see me struggle with her team once again. Honestly, the Glalie don't give much problem. It is actually the Celios that come out, do a lot of shenanigans. This Celio is going to wink at us, give us a kissy face, and wiggle its mustache, making Luvdisc fall in love with it. Here we see we have reached really low health, and we finally are able to see the wall rain, but that's not going to matter because it takes us out. I make about dozens upon dozens of attempts at this battle. I've even switched up my items from Mystic Water to the Lax Incense, hoping that I would have some sort of luck. But it's really reliant on luck with this, and a lot of times I'm not getting good luck because I'm getting hit with body slams that paralyze me, getting hit with Attract. And the thing that I've noticed that seems to be giving me a lot of problems in this battle is actually the Hell. It pelts me throughout the entire battle. So in order to win this, I'm going to have to change my tactics. So then I decide I'm going to try Double Team, see if I can make my own luck. But as you see, I still get unlucky. So I decide it's time to switch up tactics once again. I go ahead and get Ice Beam and Rain Dance, and let's see if that helps out. That will prevent me from taking residual damage from all of that Hell. So I come back to make my attempt, this time battling the Hell, trying to keep my weather up, using Surf instead. And Surf actually seems to be doing a lot more damage in the rain with my Mystic Water than Secret Power was. So this is what I'm going to be relying on to face Glacia. And we actually make it to Walrein, and surprisingly, that Surf is a 2-hit KO. Unfortunately, the berry activates, so I'm going to have to set up Rain Dance once again to get that damage output. Full Restore is not going to matter because it's a 2-hit KO, and I know I can finish it off. And I do. Glacia finally, after all this time, being defeated. So facing Drake after facing Glacia is like a breath of fresh air. Her team, super bulky, not much I can do. His team gets smashed with Ice Beam. Shelgon and the Altaria, they don't stand a chance. The Kingdra can actually take these Ice Beams, and it's going for Dragon Dances, which is actually making me nervous. But I go for some double teams, hoping that once it does attack, I can actually avoid it. I don't get lucky, however, the level advantage I have helps me take that, and that is crazy because that was insanely boosted. So Drake easily defeated. And you might have been wondering, why do we not face Wallace at Sootopolis? That's because Wallace now is the champion. He uses bulky Water-type Pokemon too, and since we had so much trouble with Glacia, I'm going to go ahead and just try to max out my double teams here, hoping that that makes it where I don't take that much damage. I'm going to use the rain to my advantage, go for a Surf. Ludicolo comes out, and it unfortunately hits us with a Leech Seed. We do freeze it, however, and that is actually huge for us because we're able to do a lot of damage. However, it thaws out, and it starts going for double team of its own, which is actually really annoying, and it takes us out. Luckily, I saved right before the Wallace battle because there's no way I'd be able to go through that Elite Four again like I did. However, here we are, jumping right back into it. Ludicolo obviously going to give us a lot of trouble. I'm able to reach the Ludicolo again. I get lucky with some freeze. This time, no healing required. Tentacruel comes out and hits me with a Toxic. Now, I'm pretty much sure there's not much I can do because he's got bulky water types, like I said. And Tentacruel in itself is a bulky water type, and the Toxic will finish me off. This time I return, and I have Secret Power. I'm hoping that if I paralyze my opponents, I can have a little bit more luck. Now, I eventually have a run that looks like it's going very well. I finally make it to the Milotic, and what I need is Para-Hacks on the Milotic to help me take this thing out. This thing is so insanely bulky. I'm at 12 HP, and luckily I am chipping this thing down. Wish Cash comes out, and luckily it misses, which is huge for me. Double Team really helping me out in this. I'm out of Ice Beam, so I'm going to have to rely on Surf on Gyarados. Luckily we get lucky, and we are finally able to finish this game. And here it is, 9 hours, 19 minutes, 30 seconds. This thing honestly gave me Pichu flashbacks. Pichu being a super, super weak Pokemon that can't really do much in battle. Luvdisc pretty much being the same thing. So there it is, Pokemon Emerald with Luvdisc only. What did you guys think about this challenge? This is actually the first Gen 3 challenge that I've ever tried. And let me say, this was a difficult challenge for me. So if you guys like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next Pokemon video.